These are all the exotics in the game that I hate. And hate is a very strong word, so I need to be very clear here. I hate these exotics. I despise them with a passion, and I'm going to go over every reason why. Um, if you like some of these exotics, I'm sorry. I apologize to no one. Eternal Warrior. This exotic I hate for one reason and one reason only. It does not shade. It does not shade properly at all. This blue face you see is all you will ever see. It is such an ugly exotic. For one, the actual effect it has is terrible. It does like nothing. It really does nothing. Extra weapon damage, whoop-de-doo, crazy. It's so insane. But the actual part I hate about it the most is that it doesn't shade properly. I'm gonna go and give you some examples. Here I am in the transmog menu. Here we have no shader right now, okay? Shader. It barely changes. It just keeps cycling through. Look at the exotic. It doesn't change. It does not change. I hate this exotic so much because it makes doing any sort of fashion an absolute like please. Look at the exotic. Look at Eternal Warrior. Please. Just do you see any noticeable difference? Any noticeable difference? Oh, you might think, oh, what about the ornament? I hate this exotic. And I know that somebody's going to mention that you can just change the transmog now, and yeah, this is nice, but still, that's not an excuse for this exotic being as ugly as it is. Where's Manticore? The Manticore. I want to love this thing so much because it really is, on paper, such a great SMG. It has target lock. It has rewind rounds. It can grant you overshields. But here's the problem. All those things I just mentioned are locked behind being in air, and that makes this exotic terrible. It could be such a great exotic, such a great void SMG because it feels so good to shoot, but every cool part about it is locked behind being in air. It's such a dumb playstyle that nobody enjoys, and if they just remove that requirement, this would be an immediate top option. Really, like I said, rewind rounds, target lock, and it grants overshields, all on this SMG. But you need to be in the air to get those effects, and it's just such a frustrating thing because I want to use this gun. I love the way it looks, I love the way it shoots, but the fact that I can't use it, the actual functionality of the gun, I can't use it unless I'm in the air, it frustrates the hell. I hate this. I hate this thing. I hate it so. I hate this gun so much. Promethium Spurs might just be the ugliest exotic in the entire game, and I think it legit has never been useful a single time. I don't know of a single time I've ever seen somebody use this, and it's for a very good reason. It's terrible, and it's so terrible it frustrates me. It's like they've given so much dev time to making this exotic useful, and it just never works. It really is disappointing to me because the recent change they gave to it is actually somewhat decent. Now, starting off, the thing that actually does frustrate the hell out of me, they recently changed it to where now your Healing Rift will grant you Radiant and your Empowering Rift will grant you Cure. That to me frustrates me because I feel like Empowering Rift by default is just weaker than the Healing Rift the entire time because Cure is a much weaker effect than Radiant. If it was Restoration instead of Cure, it might be a lot better. But still, this exotic is borderline useless. I've never seen anybody use it. It's ugly. It's like it's toes. It's toes. I don't have any respect for this exotic, and it feels like a waste of time. They could honestly delete this from the game, and I wouldn't be bothered. Now I've already kind of mentioned Path of the Burning Steps before, but it really has gone from being one of my favorite exotics to one of my most hated. I used to love this thing so much, but now it's just such a terrible exotic, and I don't enjoy it anymore. The fact that I have to use my abilities to empower my weapons, but if I'm just using my abilities, I should just keep using them anyways, because they're also getting empowered by Roaring Flames. They made it to where this exotic no longer works on other subclasses, because it used to only benefit you when you used your solar weapons, but now it's tied to just Roaring Flames, which means it has to be on a solar subclass. It kind of ruins a lot of the niche, flexible build variety you could have with this exotic, and it really has not been the same since. The extra ignition damage, too, is nothing insane. It's really just underwhelming, and the buff they gave this thing was actually a nerf, I think. That's genuinely how I feel. They tried to buff this exotic, but they ended up nerfing it instead. It got worse, and I hate that exotic. I hate this exotic for that reason. Shinobu's Vow. I want to be clear, I don't actually hate this exotic. I just hate everything around it. It's kind of insane to me that Warlocks get two of the biggest buffs we've ever seen towards a class, where now they can one-shot everything with a single grenade, and then they have the best ad clear on another grenade, and then Shinobu's Vow just exists. Hunters have nothing. They really don't. They don't have anything anymore. Hunters have been just so power crept in the meta. Like, you have to be using the most obscure and niche melee grapple hunter build in order to actually compete against warlocks and titans nowadays. More specifically, warlocks. I feel like Shinobu's Vow is just such a good example of that because you see what's going on with nothing manacles and controverse holds, and you're like, this exists. It's right. Why not buff Shinobu's? Why can't this have a third grenade? It just doesn't. You only have two. Why can't I have another skip grenade that does a lot of damage? Why can't it also create extra skip grenades when it gets kills? It's like they did it for one exotic, and I see them not willing to do it to this, and I feel like it's the same effect. Just Shinobu's Vow is really just my poster child for hunters need a buff. This right here is what I mean by hunters need a buff. We have this exotic that is basically what warlocks have, except it's weaker just by comparison, and it's unfortunate because I like skip grenades, and I don't see anybody use them anymore. And if they got a buff, I feel like it'd be a great thing for everybody. Strongholds. Now, I hate this for a very simple reason. It has enabled some dumb playstyles. Really, the skill ceiling for the game has just drastically dropped because players are just able to get through so much crap now with this exotic. This and the Prastic Blade might as well be God mode. You hold one button and you can never die. And that just makes so much of the content in the game way too easy. And I think it's kind of lame how this has just enabled the worst type of player to finally be good at the game. I'm saying the silent part out loud. I have to talk about this exotic for a very simple reason. In PvP, this is the only exotic that actually pisses me off. There's a lot of exotics in this game that are pretty dumb, but none of them make me angrier than this one. The fact that I can punch you, still win the fight, and die is crazy. I hate this exotic so much, and the worst type of players use this. Really, I really do believe that. I feel like I'm just dogging on Titan and Titan alone, but really, this exotic, I also hate it so much because Diamond Lances are just terrible now. The nerf to stasis made it to where Diamond Lances can no longer deal with unstops, and that's incredibly lame. It makes this exotic even worse. Now tell me, Diamond Lances, are you really using them that often in PvE? No, not really. It's because they're just terrible now, and that makes this exotic way worse than it already is. I feel like Diamond Lances in general should just be baked into every stasis kit, and it shouldn't be an aspect anymore. And this exotic to me is kind of just useless. Final Warning might be the most toxic gun to use in PvP. The ability to get killed around a corner will never not be infuriating. I hate this exotic and the people who use it. Really, this entire playstyle just screams of I don't take a shower. I can smell your chair from here, you disgusting vile creature. How many kills do I have with it? 72? Don't worry, I don't shower much either. Anyways, that's just a quick short list of all the exotics I hate. Yes, I know hate is a very strong word, but still, I apologize to literally no one. These exotics have been terrible for a long time, and I still dislike them. I want to see some major buffs come into this game that really shake up the meta, and I don't mean stuff like the buddy build changes, I want some crazy shenanigans going on. Anyways, that's all from me. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.